All right, so over the last 2 weeks, I've completely cut out protein bars and something crazy happened, and I wanna share that with you today. I'm just jumping on here. My name is Dr. Mark Morris. I'm a nutrition coach and founder of the Nutrition Coaching Academy. And I can sincerely say, for starters, over the last 15 years, I've ate 200 grams of protein each and every day. Maybe a handful of times I've missed that, but I've created some habits and some education around eating enough protein, and I do it most of the time. As well as, I'm a pretty big proponent of protein bars, supplemental protein. I think in moderation, there's nothing wrong with them. I think back to when I started, 20 years ago, when I started focusing on eating enough protein in 2005, I was doing my undergraduate degree. Protein bars were disgusting. They were chalky. The taste was gross. They've come a long way, not only in their taste, but also the ingredients. Like, not every protein bar is completely like chocolate covered or has a bunch of super processed ingredients. There are like whole food source protein bars now that give you, in most cases, 20 to 25 grams of protein with, obviously it's supplemental protein, but still has health benefits as well as helps you hit your daily total of protein that can be important for you if you're looking to improve your body composition. There's a bunch of good things about protein bars, but my situation was a little bit different. I've been trying to eat enough protein for many, many years. Now I've gotten to the point where, as a natural fitness enthusiast, I'm only gonna gain so much more muscle, although I've been measuring it through in-body scans every quarter, and I keep tabs on it and I keep training and all that stuff, but I'm only gonna gain so much more muscle. So how much more protein do I need? At around 185 pounds or 85 roughly kilos, I probably don't need to be eating at this point more than 160 grams of protein per day. So I needed to revisit, should I be consuming protein bars? Here's the big issue though, is that in so many cases, and this is what I tell my nutrition clients, protein bars are great because they're convenient, they are readily available, cost effectiveness in many cases isn't going to be, like a serving of protein isn't going to be astronomically higher in a supplemental protein bar compared to just whey protein or like protein powder, and even some whole food protein sources. In many cases, it's not all that different. What was problematic for me is that in so many cases, because it was so convenient, I would eat multiple protein bars per day. It's not like it's something I'm embarrassed about or anything. They taste good. I would eat a lot of the feed bars by Nutribolics or the MRE whole food bars. And my favorite bar would be the oatmeal gold bar. So like whole food sources, like the oatmeal gold bar is basically just like honey, a protein source, oatmeal, I think maybe condensed milk in there. Like, there's not too much going on. Issue with that one is that for that 20 grams of protein I'd be getting, that one definitely erred on the side of being more like an energy bar compared to a pure protein source. For something to be your source of protein, it should probably be, from a macronutrient perspective, mostly protein, and not as much of the macronutrients of everything else on a per calorie basis, like per gram. So for example, if you're consuming 30 grams of carbohydrates and it's only give you 20 grams of protein, you're probably consuming an energy bar and not a protein bar. So those calories would add up. And I'd get to the point where, number one, if I was eating 2 of those over the course of the day, and it was an additional 500 to 550 calories, with an amount of protein, an additional protein that I probably didn't need. And if you guys follow this stuff, everything has protein in it now. They've taken every product, everything that we consume, and added protein to it. And in most cases, I'm in favor of that because a lot of people getting into this stuff, just aren't eating enough protein overall. That's a real thing. With that being said, there's always room for you just to eat normal cookies and eat chicken and live your life with that awareness, but that doesn't always happen. So, I mean, these products exist for a reason, but in my case, I was eating more protein than I needed to be eating, and it was adding in additional calories, and I was having a hard time keeping my weight down. So since I stopped eating protein bars, I've been dropping weight. and getting leaner with the intent of getting leaner, which is a good thing. That one small change made a big difference. In most cases, when I'm intentionally trying to get leaner, I'll track my nutrition and track everything. I'm a huge proponent of that. It's one of the best ways to get results because you're controlling for the big picture variables that influence body composition results. But when I'm not actively tracking that stuff and I'm eating, 1 to 2 protein bars per day, as well as taking supplemental protein, it's just, that can be 100 grams of protein right there, as well as it's super expensive. One of the benefits of being a nutrition coach is that with a business is that is a legitimate business expense, protein bars. I try out different products, recommend them to my clients. It's part of my life and my business. I can expense those things. That is a slippery slope as well though, because it's almost like then it justifies spending money on that stuff, money on that stuff that I don't necessarily need to be taking in, and then the cycle just continues. So for convenience, I was doing that. For business purposes, I was doing that, and I didn't need to be eating that much protein as well as that much calories. So not only am I now saving money and just making the intent of eating more whole food sources of protein in place of that, and like thinking more of it. Like the biggest thing is also, it's a mindless thing because you reach for that for a snack because it's convenient and it tastes good, when really from a satiety perspective, like they are processed in most cases, from a satiety perspective, you'd probably be better eating something less processed, like a meat source or a dairy source, something that will stay with you a little bit longer, and something that has more, the majority of it being protein, in addition to other stuff that you would do with that meal or that snack. It would just keep you fuller for longer. So for me, number one, if you're watching this and thinking like, do I need to be eating all these protein bars? Should I start working it in? The best thing to do is start tracking your nutrition to get a sense of, do you truly need that? Most situations come down to, you might not need it, but you probably do, but you don't know that unless you have the data over, days and weeks to prove that you're not eating enough protein. That being said, I'm also not swearing them off entirely. I'll probably start buying them again. But again, I'm a kid in a candy shop when it comes to supplement stores, Supplement World Canada. I'll go in there and I'll purchase $250 to $300 worth of things when I'm in there. Again, sometimes it can be a business expense, but also because I like doing it and I like trying them. But I've pared down the supplemental things I'm taking. My body composition is in a better place for it. My wallet is in a better place for it. And I'm feeling much better overall and just more like straightforward, with a straightforward approach, more focused, and it's made a big difference for you. So maybe it's going to make a difference for you too. So be more mindful of it, start tracking these things, assess what you truly need, and start to make some more of those intentful decisions. That's what I got to say for today. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to hear more from me in terms of nutrition knowledge, nutrition coaching, I want you to check out this video I've linked up right here. In this video, I'm going to distill down over 20 years of nutrition knowledge into a 16-minute video. You're going to learn everything from my PhD in human nutrition through working with thousands of nutrition clients. It's a great video. Check it out right here. You'll learn more about all of my knowledge within this video. Check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video.